Shavua Tov, Agut Tov, I am Rafael Rabinovich, and Bezrat Hashem, I'm going to tell story number 202 of the Shivchei Shem Tov, the oldest source of Baal Shem Tov stories ever published. The title of the story, Ma'ase B'Shlosha Achim, translated as The Story of Three Brothers. Says the author of the Shivchei Shem Tov that in a certain Kehila Kedosha, in a certain Jewish community, there were three brothers, and they were greatly renowned scholars and Yirei Shamayim, fearful of God. And the two of them follow closely the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. But the third one was a misnaget, an opposer. Every time the Baal Shem Tov would come to that community, he would lodge by the house of the two brothers, and every time he would ask and take interest in the health of the third brother. Once the Baal Shem Tov arrived on a Thursday, and before coming into the house of the two brothers, he inquired among the townspeople about the health of the third brother, with these words, "Vos macht mein misnaget?" in Yiddish, "How is my opposer doing?" People thought that they would give him good news when they told him that the third brother was sick, bedridden, not able to speak. The Baal Shem Tov said, then we should go and do Bikur Choilem, we should visit the sick. On Friday, before Shabbos, the Baal Shem Tov asked the two brothers if it's possible to go and daven and pray in the house of their brother during Shabbos, and they said that if the brother was healthy, he would certainly not allow the Rav, the Baal Shem Tov, to pray in his house. But now that he is bedridden and immobile, unable to move like a cold stone, what would he care? Of course, they told the Baal Shem Tov, of course you can. There is a special room for davening, a special prayer room. The Baal Shem Tov ordered that the Aron HaKodesh and a Sefer Torah be brought. The Torah scroll and the Ark of the Torah should be brought there. And there he prayed Mincha and Ma'ariv, the afternoon and the evening prayer, that Friday evening. And in the morning, he prayed Shacharis, the morning prayer, and he extended the tefillah, he extended the davening until 2 hours after midday. And before starting the reading of the Torah, he went out into the hallway to cool down, possibly because of the intense nature of his prayer. He needed to cool down. And then he heard a groan. The sick man was passing out. He was probably close to the end. So he said to the Hasidim, the Baal Shem Tov said, let's go now visit the sick man, the Choile. The Baal Shem Tov came in and sat down next to the patient. And the mother of the Choile, the sick man, said, why don't you greet the Rav? But he did not answer. As we said, he was not even able to speak. But he placed his hand on top of the Baal Shem Tov's hand. The Baal Shem Tov asked the sick man if he had learned Gemara, and he remained silent. The Baal Shem Tov went back to his question several times, and the man was silent, until the Rav, the Baal Shem Tov, stood up and said, what kind of derech eretz is this? What kind of manners is this? I'm asking you a question, and you're not replying. Then the sick man answered, yes, I learned Gemara. Then the Baal Shem Tov asked him, so do you know where in the Gemara, in the Talmud, is the sentence, Chavivim alecha Yesurim? Is suffering beloved to you? The sick man said, in Maseches Brachos, in the tractate of Brachos. The Baal Shem Tov said, and what does it say there? What's the answer to that question? And the sick man said, Not them and not the reward. Sufferings and the reward of suffering is not beloved to me. It is a story in the Gemara. I will refer to it in a moment. The Rav, the Baal Shem Tov, asked him, are sufferings, meaning is suffering, beloved to you? And the man said, not them and not the reward. Neither the suffering, not the reward, is belong to me. Then the Baal Shem Tov asked him to give me the hand, so he would hold the hand, and the Baal Shem Tov took it and raised him up. The words given in this story, parentheses, are exactly the words of the Gemara in that place, in Brachos 5b. Rabbi Chia bar Abba was sick, and Rabbi Yochanan went to visit him and asked him, Chavim alecha Yisurim, our sufferings belong to you? And he said, not them and not the reward. So Rabbi Yochanan said, give me your hand, and stood him up. So exactly that story the Baal Shem Tov is repeating here. Then the Rav, the Baal Shem Tov, asked for the man to put his feet down on the floor. Move your legs, put your feet down on the floor, stood him up completely, and then helped him get dressed slowly, and then brought him to the room, to the prayer room, and he prayed Musaf with all of them. And Be'ezrat Hashem, with the help of Hashem, he was completely healed. He recovered completely. And that is the story of this week. May Hashem bless us all and help us overcome all the Yisurim, all the sufferings that are not beloved to us. We don't like suffering. We don't need to suffer. May Hashem bless us with only good things. May those whose bodies are still not yet in Jewish hands be recovered. May the corner of Eretz Yisrael come back to Jewish hands and be in complete and safe peace. And may we all be blessed in merit of the stories of the Baal Shem Tov. I am telling the stories of the Baal Shem Tov here already for a few years, and I have worked in the translation of the book from Hebrew into Spanish with the hopes of publishing it real soon. I'm working right now on reviewing the translation. There will be a cost for publication, and I will really appreciate those who support me in the efforts to do this, as well as helping cover those costs. You can see links here below in the description. Please come back every Motzi Shabbos. You will see one video in English, like this one in American English. You can adjust your settings, and one in Spanish. Please come back, subscribe, give me a like, and come back next week. Shavua Tov, a gute Woche.